Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. The modern release that I want to look at today is Princess Peach Showtime for the Nintendo Switch. Now there's a lot of discourse about this game, about it being too easy, about being definitely just made for little kids, and that it doesn't offer a whole lot of challenge or replayability or anything like that for adults. While I can understand the criticism, I actually really enjoyed Princess Peach Showtime. I played this one with my daughter, which definitely helped. She was really excited about the game, and so she would play through the levels, and then I would play through the second time to get all the stuff she missed. So I played through the entire game, essentially one playthrough by myself. So I got to kind of have both sides of the experience, and just to see what it's like for someone that doesn't play a lot of games or hasn't played a lot of games, what the experience was for her, and then my experience as well. So it's kind of a nice 2-for-1 here that you'll be getting in this review. If you're not familiar with Princess Peach Showtime, this is her first solo adventure since Super Princess Peach on the Nintendo DS, and it evolves her character in a lot of ways because it gives her a lot of new forms in the form of like the sword fighter or the patisserie. Like you have a ton of different forms. I think it's 10 total that you can go for in Princess Peach Showtime, depending on which play you're visiting. So the synopsis of this game: you are Princess Peach, you go with your toads, you get an invitation to the Sparkle Theater, you go there to check it out. It seems awesome, but an evil enchantress takes over the entire theater and ruins all the plays. And it's up to Peach to help with the help of Stella, who is the theater's guardian, to use the power of Sparkle to free the plays and free the Sparklas, or the lead characters in each play, so then you can take on Madame Grape, the main antagonist of the game, and free the theater of her clutches. It's a really interesting premise. All the marketing material will show you the Sword Fighter Peach is like the main attraction here, like one of the big things that they showcased in the trailers, and it's super cool to take on those forms. So once you enter each of the plays, let's say the Sword Fighter one, for instance, to start off this review, you enter the play and you find it in disarray. And this one, there's thorns growing everywhere. There's enemies lurking all around. You have to use the Sparkle power. They get a little ribbon that Stella gives you. You can use the Sparkle power to take out the bad guys, but once you get to a certain point, you can't progress unless you have the power of the Sword Fighter Sparkla, or the lead from the play that has been missing. Once you get that power up, all of a sudden you have the ability to use your sword. You have tons of different abilities within that, and it's a ton of fun. There's always like a boss fight at the end of each play as well, which is always super exciting. And they did a really good job of balancing this in a way that, again, a little kid could pick up the game and figure it out. It was quite challenging for my daughter to figure out how to beat a lot of these things. It was a little bit foreign to her playing this game because there were so many different mechanics. Each form that you take on does something new, and she wasn't used to all those things. So it was fun coaching her through that and helping her get through the entire game this way and seeing her experience. It was a little bit hard for her, even though the game is pretty darn easy. You even have an option to get a heart charm that gives you 3 additional hearts, so you have like 8 total. It gives you a ton of leeway, and it was still a little bit difficult for her. But it was really fun to watch her change and get better at the platforming and get better at the combat and everything, and figure out all the mechanics all the way up until the end. That was really cool for me. And when I played through each level, I would go through and mop up all the collectibles after she did, so I would have my own little playthrough that I got to do. I had a lot of fun finding the hidden collectibles. They weren't super challenging, but sometimes they were a little bit out of the way. They have little stars that you can get. I can't remember exactly what they're called. They're little green stars you can find. There's a certain amount of them in each level. The first version of each play that you get when you unlock the new form, so the Sword Fighter form or the Patisserie form. Let me see if I can remember them all. So you have Sword Fighter, you have the Baker, the Patisserie, you have the Ninja, you have the Kung Fu, you have the Mighty one where you have like a power suit, which is really cool. You have the Mermaid one. You have... Oh man, this is testing my memory here. What else do we have? That's 6. There's like 4 more? Oh my goodness, there's a lot. I'll just keep going, and if I remember the other ones, I will get back to you on that. But I've just talked about 6 there. Each of them have a base level. It's their Act 1, essentially, of what you do. Once you complete 4 acts on the floor, you have specific ones. So on the first floor, you've got the Sword Fighter, you've got the Patisserie, and 2 other ones. Once you beat the boss of that floor, like once you beat all 4 of those doors, you'll unlock the boss, you beat them, you unlock a new floor. So you go up to the next one, and you'll find other forms that you can play as, but you'll also get Act 2s of each thing. So you'll have an Act 2 for every single form that you get. which is really interesting. It ups the difficulty when you get to that next area. And then you'll finally get the the Act 3, where you go and save the Sparkla, or the lead actor, from each play that have been trapped in the basement by Madame Grape. And once you do that, they are free to go, and you actually have to unlock all of them. You have to save every single one to take on Madame Grape in the final confrontation. It's a really interesting premise. I like how they ramp up the difficulty in each level. I don't think it's a crazy ramp up, but it is enough to like test maybe a younger player. And even sometimes the platforming and some of the secrets they have are a little bit tricky to find. You also have random little spots in each level where you can strike a pose. If you find a little spotlight shine on you, you can strike a pose and you go to a hidden area. Typically that's where some of the secrets are that are a little bit more tricky to find. It's really cool how they did a ton of different mechanics as well. Each form has their own thing. The sword fighter, obviously you're going to be fighting with your sword. The patisserie has a baking challenge that you do in each level. You'll be going through and like baking treats and snacks to try and get rid of these bad guys that are taking over the area. You also have a detective one. That's one I didn't mention before, where you are trying to be a sleuth. You're solving mysteries. You're analyzing clues. So each area is wildly different from each other, and I have to commend Nintendo for making a really solid experience, because there's so many different mechanics they had to juggle, and all of them feel pretty fresh. It makes the game feel like a new experience every time you're picking it up. Even when you go into the Act 2s and Act 3s, there's something new to experience. Once you beat the game one time through as well, you actually unlock the hidden hide-and-seek ninjas. So this is how I would recommend if you want to go for 100% completion like we did. If you go through, just don't worry about picking up all the extra sparkle things, the green stars that you get. Don't worry about picking them up. Don't worry about a second playthrough if you miss any of them. Beat the game, then go back through and mop up all of the extra crystals that you missed, because you'll have this extra challenge after you've beaten it to go through and find these little hidden guys, hidden ninjas that are in the world. It's very, very cool. It's a nice little bonus thing, a nice little extra side game content. You also get like a secondary like boss option for each and every boss on each floor. You'll go up to a poster of them, and then you'll get to fight them again. You have certain conditions you have to meet to unlock more of the green stars, which you use to buy decorations for the theater once you've beaten the game. So there's quite a bit of post-game content that's also very fun to experience. I think overall the game is very solid. I think it's much better than a lot of people have let on, just because they talk about how easy it is. It is an easy game, but that doesn't mean it's not a fun game. I had a lot of fun playing this game, even when it was easy. The hardest part, the most tedious part about this game is there are so many unskippable scenes, and if you ever have to replay a level, it just sucks. It sucks to try and play through them again. You can skip the cutscene where she transforms into a new form, and that's pretty much it. Almost every other scene takes forever. And there are some levels that are like on rails. You can move throughout the area. So like in one of the mermaid levels, you'll be cruising through. You use Peach's voice to conduct little choruses of fish, which is kind of cool, but you'll just have to wait out the section that's on rails until you can get to the next section, which makes playthroughs really tedious the second time through. There's no way to speed it up. There's no way to skip cutscenes and such. It makes for a pretty dull experience going for full completion. I will say that. But once you get past some of the more tedious levels, a lot of the levels have a lot of replay value. Finding the extra secrets and everything is a lot more fun. The sword fighter, the kung fu form, and the mighty form, the ninja form, those are all really fun, high octane kind of ones, whereas the mermaid levels and the detective levels can be a lot slower. The patisserie levels are a lot slower too, but they all offer something unique, which makes for an interesting gameplay experience overall. What I'm trying to say here is there's a lot of fun to be had with Princess Peach Showtime. If you wrote it off as just another cutesy fun game that Nintendo made specifically for little girls and little boys, it can be that, but it can also be fun for adults too. I had the added benefit of watching my daughter play and having a great time with it, so that helped improve the experience for me. But honestly, my playthrough of it as well was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing through. I think the bosses are actually pretty well designed. I think they did a really good job overall. I don't think it's the most content-rich game. Again, replayability is definitely an issue in a lot of respects, but there's still a lot of fun to be had, and if you have that completionist mentality, getting through everything actually feels pretty satisfying. There's lots of costumes to unlock for Peach as well as ribbons for Stella, and then decorating the entire theater is kind of fun to see your progress throughout. There's just a lot a lot to be had. There's a lot of fun to be had in this game if you actually go in knowing that it's going to be an easier ride, but still a fun ride. I'm going to be giving Princess Peach Showtime in between a silver and gold rank. If it didn't have the tedious replayability problems I talked about, it definitely would be a gold rank for me. Honestly, I think this game is actually exceptional in the way that they designed it, and I'd love to see what they do with it going forward if they happen to do a sequel for Princess Peach Showtime. If you've played this game, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.